Hello, hello. As you can see, I'm in a little bit of a different setting today. Today I have to spend a whole day at my daughter's school. It's due to her health conditions. Sometimes I need to step in and help the teachers. So today is the day. So my workstation looks a little bit like this. Oh, I can't actually turn it around, but it looks like this. And as you can see, I'm sitting on those tiny, tiny little chairs that children sit at school, as you can see behind me. So I thought I will check in. I will do a little bit of audio production, and you will see that in a minute. There will be a little bit of an echo from my voice, as obviously this is not acoustically treated room in any way. There is a lovely picture of Pepper behind me. Just a quick thought that I had as the weekend was approaching on Friday. I thought I will let you know my thoughts on working at the weekends and why I think it's important to take them off. So obviously we have a family, so children are very important to us, and the weekend is really the only time we can spend with them. So weekends are the times when we fully unplug, and absolutely no excuses unless, I don't know, the website stops working. We will take the time off and spend it together as a family. And I think it's important, if you do have that, to make a point of that, as it's very easy to fall into this mentality of hustle every day, and it doesn't matter what day it is, you've got to hustle whatever hours God sends, and all of that. Whilst it's true to a certain extent, I think it's important to honor the family, and because at the end of the day, that's all that matters. It's there's nothing more important than your family. And when you are lying on your deathbed, you will not wish that you've done more work. It will be the time with the family you wanted to spend. And when you have young children, they are at the stage where their brains are still developing, and I want them to know that we care. So the weekends are strictly off for us. That's why there will not be any videos at the weekends, unless we are attending conferences and things like that. Now, I do think that if you do not have your own family yet, and you have nothing better to do, I think it's good to work. I mean, especially, I really wish I've done that when I was in my 20s. I've wasted so much time just watching mindless TV and doing things that didn't really matter. I really wish I've done something more purposeful. So I hope that maybe if you're watching and you are the younger generation with no commitments yet, that it's time to do that. But anyway, I'm going to get stuck into some production today. I think I quite liked the just diving into and trying to produce something. So I'm going to try and do a little bit more of that today. I had fun. It really is a very creative process, and I've learned a little bit in the process as well. I've learned that you can't remix like small piece to be 10-minute long, for example. But anyway, so I'm going to dive in and do a little bit more work with the production whilst it's still quiet here, as very soon the children will descend on this room and it won't be so peaceful anymore. So this is my only chance to do a little bit of creative work this morning. But thank you for watching, and for continuing to follow my journey. I am on the mission on becoming award-winning producer from zero to amazing levels in relatively short time, and I'm not quite sure yet where it's going, but I'm having fun, and I hope you do too. Thank you. Hello. So I am back in the studio. I have been let out a little bit earlier today, which is fantastic. I've been trying to do some audio production in that room, and I will tell you what, it's rather impossible. So I thought I'm going to wait until I get home. And here I am. So it's going to be my I guess another attempt at audio production, so let's see what comes back. I have Adobe Audition in front of me, and I'm going to dive straight in and go in here. So I want a multi-track session. As you can see, I am using Mike's presets, and without them at the moment, I would be absolutely not able to find myself in any possible way. So here it is. I am going to do a little bit of a kind of more of an ad today than in previous days. And the reason behind that is actually just as I was trying to look for different elements to produce with, I had a thought, and I thought this is actually really relevant to share with anyone doing audio, and it's a little bit of my audio branding coming into all of this. So quite often when we have, obviously we work with a variety of different orders, I'm kind of a little bit, sometimes I'm quite a little bit disappointed with what producer has chosen in terms of music. Now, music is absolutely crucial part of any production that involves music, and more so with podcasts and ads, because that music is really what creates the brand and the kind of feeling. It sets the tone for everything that is to come afterwards. So unlike like a quick sweeper and or DJ drop, what I'm talking about here is effectively branding using really good music pieces. So you can have the best voice in the world recording something for you, but then it's the music that you choose that will completely set a tone, how professional it is. I can't speak, clearly spending most of my morning at school. Anyway. So yes, so music, and I wanted to demonstrate it with a really good piece of recording and put different music parts to it so that you can actually hear what I mean. Here is a voice from Greg. Let's load it in here and press OK. Right, so I will play that off so you can hear what I mean.
This podcast is brought to you by Banker.com. That's BANKURR.com, a new buying and selling platform for ancient and modern coins. And here is your host, David Parish.
So as you can hear, so let me just take that first cut from it. As you can hear, this has a potential to be very business-like, a little bit more serious. And let's have a little look at different music beds. So this is a library we use. We've got a ton of different things. So say, for example, if I went for something, let's say positive, uplifting, I don't know, something like this. Or maybe even like that. A bit too, let's have a look. Yeah, something like this, right? So let me just load this in here. It's like, obviously the levels are not quite right.
This podcast is brought to you by Bank.
But like the music has a very feel-good vibe, right? And whilst this is perfectly fine, in my opinion, that would not be suitable. Yes, it's a good piece of music. It would do wonderful in branding, but not quite that kind of topic. I don't know, it just does not sound right. So I would opt for something a little bit more commercial. You can still have a very kind of like feel-good factor, but I think both the voice and the script dictate that we need something a little bit more kind of serious. So let's have a little look. Well, this one is alright, but perhaps a little bit too of a low one. What about that one? See, something like that would probably cut it. Let's have a little look. No. That is perfect. Now, I'm going to load this in. And let's have a quick look.
This podcast is brought to you by Banker.com. That's BANKURR.com, a new buying and selling platform for ancient and modern.
You see, this is ideal. It literally, in my opinion, is ideal. So now I need to figure out how do I, A, make it sort of less loud in the mix so that it doesn't compete with Greg's voice, and B, I need to cut it to the specific length. So let's have a quick look. I'm going to listen to, this is a tip I picked up from Mike, to try and listen to the end. And to make sure to use that end in some way. But let me So the remix thing works quite cool, and I've done it yesterday. So let me enable remix and see what Adobe would do if I was to just turn it down to the end. So it kind of will pre-cut it for me, I guess. No, that's it. That's the remix bit, isn't it? Let's have a look. Is that it? Is that done? Let's have a quick look. Oops, I've broken it now. Oh gosh, do you know the zooming in and out? That's the part that I struggle with the most at the moment.
This podcast is brought to you by Banker.com. That's BAN.
So, okay, so this kind of calls for a cut in here, and
A new
and it kind of calls for a cut in here. I'm not quite sure yet what
A
to
new
do.
buying and selling platform for ancient and modern coins. And here is your host.
And so does this. So let's.
And here is your host, David Parrish.
No, I don't like it. You see, Remix has not done this well at all. I don't like that. Oh, I don't know how to move it out from there. So anyway, well, I'm going to go for an easy option. There we go. I'm going to do that. Now, I'm going to go all the way to the end. We kind of like this, don't we? Look, you can see it. It's like, it's so evident here. Look, you can see where to cut. Can you see this? Right, I'm going to cut that and use that end bit. I'm probably going to butcher the whole thing now, but let me have a little look. So let's move that here, and I wonder if I can see how to do the whole thing. So look, and you see, you can kind of see when they would align. I wonder. Perfect. Look at this. But I need it a little bit sooner. So let's see. Can I find you somewhere here? Let's have a look. Somewhere. Like this.
David Parrish.
Perfect. Look at this. You see, you can see it. This is what I love about this. You can see where to cut. Look, you don't need to be hearing it only. You can totally, oh gosh, if I only get my way around this. You can totally hear it, see it. Look, it probably would be, it's probably this one here, isn't it? Let's just have a little listen.
David Parrish.
Yeah, that would be this one. It's this one. Totally, it is this one. So if I cut it, say, here, let's delete that and then move that here. Let's have a look how that sounds.
David Parrish. Here is your host, David Parrish.
No, that is this one, isn't it? Totally, yes. Let's have a quick look. Let's try that again.
Host, David Parrish.
Is that going to
And
work?
here is your host, David Parrish.
I think it is. Look at this. It's like, I actually prefer this. In all honesty, I prefer this to doing the remix because you are in a little bit more of a control. By the way, I've just noticed, why is that level down here? Is that the same now?
David Parrish.
Yeah, now it's the same. So, right, so we've got that bit. I'm quite happy with the way that music has turned out. I just want to do something with this. Obviously, Mike's presets, they will apply some sort of compression to the voice. Not that it needs it. If you listen to this,
This podcast is brought to you by Banker.
and then this. So hang on, let me just mute this. How do I mute this? Hello. No. Mute. Is that mute? Aha. Right.
This podcast is brought.
And then this.
This podcast.
See, it doesn't need much
This
of it, and it doesn't do much of it. So, anyway, we kind of need to bring in the vocals, I think, at some more significant point. It would be cool to do it on some sort of beat, right? Isn't that what good producers are supposed to do? I don't know. Let's see. So, let's have a look.
This pod.
Hang on. It's... A little bit more.
This.
Yeah, that's better, isn't it?
This pod.
Yeah, that is definitely better. Oops. Right, so that's definitely better. Because I don't know, it kind of feels weird to be bringing it straight in. Let me just do that a little bit tighter.
This pod.
Yeah, that is better. Now, what do I do? I mean, with something as corporate as that, I wouldn't necessarily mess much to it.
This podcast is brought to you by Banker.com.
I don't know. Let's have a look. Voice cue. I don't know. I kind of would like to do something with it. Let's have a look. Loop. No. Stretch. Remix. No. Gosh, there's so many options here. This is like, whoa. Right, let's have a look. Effects. Right, generate noise. No. Amplitude and compressor dynamics. Modulation. Chorus and flanger. Let's have a quick look. So is this going to apply it to the... I wonder what it's going to do. But anyway.
That's BANKURR.
Oh, you see here? It's done it.
Podcast is brought to you by Banker.com. That's BANKURR.com. And you buying it.
I have no idea what it's doing. Flanger.
Podcast is brought to you by Banker.com. That's BAN. Podcast is brought to you by Banker.
That's quite cool.
Podcast is brought to you by Banker.com. That's B.
He sounds very deep.
Podcast is brought to you by Banker.com. That's BANK. Podcast is brought to you by Banker.com. Podcast is brought to you by
He sounds like he came from Mars.
Podcast is brought to you by Banker.com.
That's so cool. Look at this.
Podcast is brought to you by Banker.com.
That is so cool.
Podcast.
Look at this. Sorry.
Podcast is brought to you by Banker.com. That's BANKURR.com. A new buying and selling platform for ancient and modern.
No, that is so cool.
Podcast is brought to you by...
See, I mean, this is absolutely mind-blowing to me. Like, this is just one effect, and you can just do so much with it. It's like, where do you even start? I mean, I have no idea. They have presets, which is fab, but it's kind of nice to have ability to learn all of this, right? But anyway.
Podcast is brought to you by Banker.com. That's BANKURR.com. A new buying and selling platform for ancient and modern...
Oh, I don't know. Do you know what? I would probably switch it off. It just doesn't need it.
Podcast is brought to you by Banker.com. That's...
I would probably bring him in a little bit sooner so we don't have the thing. I'm just tempted not to add anything to it. Maybe just, I don't know, what if we add...
Podcast is brought to you by Banker.com. That's BANKURR.com.
You see, that's quite nice, isn't it? It just makes it sound nice. So then what happens after this?
A new buying and selling platform for ancient and modern coins. A new buying and selling platform for ancient and a new buying and selling platform for ancient and modern coins. A new buying and selling platform for ancient and modern coins. And here is your host, David Parrish.
Oh, hang on, because something is broken in here. That didn't right?
Here is your host, David Parrish. Here is your host, David Parrish. Here is your host, David Parrish. Here is your host, David Parrish.
Perfect. Look at this. I mean, it really didn't need much, and I don't think I should have anymore. Sometimes producers overcomplicate, I think, and sometimes people just like things easy. So I'm not going to try and be lazy here. This is not at all what I'm trying to do. But I kind of think that sometimes it is quite important to go back to the basics. It's kind of like going back to school, right? And listen to the script and see what the script may drive us to have a need for. So this is what I would do. Let's have a listen to the whole thing, and I hope you like it. Let me know what you think.
This podcast is brought to you by Banker.com. That's BANKURR.com, a new buying and selling platform for ancient and modern coins. And here is your host, David Parrish.
I know you can almost hear that edit here. That's like you can just about hear it. I probably have not wedged those two together just like that. There. Let's have a look. Is that better? I know. Some of you will say... Oh.
And here is your host, David Parrish. And here is your host, David Parrish. And here is your host, David Parrish.
I think that will have to do. So anyway, let me save this up and mix down entire session.
This podcast.
Do you know, I really think that kind of does it. So just the main kind of point, I guess, to make once again is just the importance of selecting the right music. Now, it's a little bit of a confession here. I have some experience with this. So I've been working with branding clients for the last, it will be 7 years now. So it is a little bit of, I guess, head start on that front. And part of the job I do is finding the right music track for, say, a podcast or a brand, something that's going to set a tone. It's going to give a good representation of, what to expect, how you're going to feel. So I am stressing that. And too many times, too often, I've seen people either driven entirely by their own music preferences or just kind of selecting things at random because progress over perfection. Let's just get something and get going. Whilst I am a big fan of progress over perfection, don't understand me wrong, I really think that this part is like the most important part. Somebody is going to listen to this in the first 30 seconds of a podcast, in this case, and they're going to need to make a judgment call whether this is for them or not. So do not underestimate the importance of music. I guess that's really what I wanted to say. Thank you so much once again for watching and following my journey and me learning, producing and doing things. I think that with time I'm going to get a little bit smoother at this, so bear with me. But I really appreciate all of your support and thank you. Until tomorrow.